Good evening, all, and welcome to game week 7-ish. I believe it is of the CM0102 Super League. Good to see you. Good to see you again. We've got Ian and Ian and Stephen. So far, so good in the chat. Welcome, everyone. Um, Back to the Thursday night schedule. We do have a kind of an awkward one coming up, but evening, Tato. I'll be in touch with the with the impacted managers as soon as possible because we have another 3 week, three uh, fixture round coming up. We'll try and squeeze that in as soon as possible so that next Thursday we can go back to like a full one. So that'll be in between, but I'll get back to the managers with that. But we should be back to, as mentioned, back to a kind of a normal schedule now. So hopefully pace will pick up a little bit. See if we can get 5 in, maybe squeeze in another week or two here or there if you're up for it. But yeah, more about that at another time. Hopefully you're also all preparing for the big transfer bonanza. I've seen some deals. I might have to ask you all to remind me again in the beginning of August. And after this one, I know Mr. Edwards and Mr. Smuts have made some deals. I'll see if I can get that done, but I'll post in the no reply chat for everyone to see. So all is good. Let's have a quick reminder of the results. Quick results for the last round. 5 games there. Badgers beating Haggis. East Coast Exiles. That was a 1-1 draw. Foster Road beating Sloths. We had Full Chest drawing with Vikings, and Stanley with that impressive 4-1 win over Stackington after Etu or someone got sent off, as I remember. Leaves the table looking a little bit like this. It's obviously uh, early doors, and there's a bunch of teams down at the bottom. So everyone above the line has played 7, and everyone below the line, bar Sloths, have played either 5 or 6. So it's not 100% reliable, although of course someone like Sancte, even with 6 wins, they would only go to 7 points, while Dudley with 6 points, they would go to 13. So there's a big discrepancy between reality and what's actually written here. Evening, Paul. Good to see you as always. So that's where we're at. That's not going to even itself out tonight, unfortunately, because as mentioned, we have a full list of fixtures. But good to get everyone involved, of course, and hopefully, as mentioned, it'll even itself out over the next, I don't know however long it is. Pain in the league table. Yes, indeed. It's not great for Haggis or indeed for Burn. 12th and 13th. Probably not a lot of people predicting that. Burn's not conceded a lot, so they'll probably turn things around. A little bit more concerning for Haggis, obviously. Evening, Alf. Good to have you. Can you consider who you want instead of Gareth Barry? If you haven't replied already, he is out injured, unfortunately. So you can think about that. But we will go um, with the advertised fixture first. We'll go with Haggis against Burn, I think, because why not? Well, let's go through this very quickly and see if we can get things underway. There we are. So let's go to Haggis against Burn first. See if I can remember who's the home side. I believe it is Haggis. Jeremy's, of course, got himself sent off last time out. Um, and yeah, that's no good. A little bit of a change to the formation. I think this is what I'm looking at. I was not 100% sure from the from the picture. So Ian, if any of the arrows are too short or anything else I've misunderstood, give us a shout and I'll try and rectify that. But we'll see how it goes for Haggis. They obviously brought in Carla Jacques, hoping that he would give them some goals, but it's not really worked out in his first game. But early doors, and he had a good time at LSK. Can definitely score goals. Fico starts as well next to him. He's not been too bad actually. Even Scott. Very on Haggis. This indeed, that's a very good point, Steve. It is very on Haggis. And Filippo Inzaghi left on the bench, fallen out of favor. I mean, he had such a great run at Northern Burn, but he just seemed to be the forgotten man after that. A couple of good seasons-ish at Sancte, at least a good average, but after that confidence crack at the Stackington, he's just not refound his form, unfortunately. He starts on the bench. Montella gets the nod. Samuel and Hippia are at the back. Hippia, of course, signed recently from Northern Burn. So that's how Haggis line up this evening. We shall see how it goes. Over at Northern Burn, there were a couple of changes. I believe Rui Costa's come in for Brook Inc. Cannavaro has come in. He's obviously joined in the other direction, coming from Haggis, so he will get a squad number this evening. I believe those were the only two changes to the starting lineup for Northern Burn. It's been difficult for them to get out of the starting blocks this season, but they've had some tight games. Probably a little bit unlucky with their away games as well. Foss Road and Badgers, two very tricky games there, and then they lost at home to Los Santos, of course, and then another tricky-ish away game to Vikings. They've got another tricky away game now with Haggis, and then it kind of lightens up a little bit with home games with Sloths away, Stanley away, a couple more home games. So maybe around sort of the midway point of the season, we'll see Northern Burn starts pushing up towards the playoff spots. But let's see. Cannavaro immediately in as captain. We'll see how that works out for him. But first of all, tricky encounter for Northern Burn. Obviously, not been the best of start for Haggis either, but um, yeah, it's difficult to predict this one. Hopefully, there'll be plenty of goals and entertainment. We'll kick this one off, and we'll see how it goes in the first half. Who will draw first blood? Will it be the visitors? It looks as if they had a couple of big chances there, and it is indeed Impensa opens the scoring. Last season's very impressive top scorer in the league ran into that big injury, but back to scoring form now. Rui Costa doing his best as well to get in amongst it, but it's Montella with a good chance there for Haggis, trying to get them back just before half time. But it seems as if Northern Burn are going to hold on, and indeed they are. Just the one chance for Haggis in the first half, 2-1 for them. Northern Burn's gone 4-3. Haggis with a Northern Burnish formation here. We'll have a look at the away sides and their stats first. Presume it's going to be an assist from Mr. Edwards, but let's have a look. Rui Costa on a six, and so is IMR. So attacking, they've been struggling a little bit. Cannavaro yet to find his feet. He's on a six as well. The assist was for Cosmin Contra, was having a decent-ish season so far for Northern Burn. And they're on course for 3 points here if they can hang on to this. Haggis in the new formation. It's not working out well for Cruz. He's picked up a yellow and not really getting involved in a positive way. And the same for Petkov. Fantastic passing, but not really much in terms of defensive displays. Walter Samuel doing a brilliant job, 996. Great tackling from him, but struggling a little bit to create. To be honest, just 2-1. As mentioned, the shots and the shots on. Um, Not blessed with a ton of options. Freddie Lundberg, of course. Koba for Petkov. Mm, Let's see. Immediate response from the manager. Whereas Petkov there? It's Kopi's really. And Freddie for Cruz. There we go. Freddie Lundberg on that right wing back. We'll see how it goes. Immediate response from the manager. Getting a little bit desperate probably. But and push the wingers up. And to push up. What? I think cool. Um, that makes a little bit more sense then with Freddie Ljungberg. So cool. Yeah, no worries. Excellent. So immediate response from the manager here. We'll see if that is going to create more for Haggis or if it's going to leave them open at the back. Let's have a run at this until 60. See how it goes. A couple of substitutions there for Haggis. Let's see if they can make a difference. Ljungberg, of course. I think from Burn as well. He was there at some point, that's for sure. Figo takes a free kick, and there's the Montella with the header, but nothing comes of it. Northern Burn, historically very good at maintaining a one-goal lead, but it's not been as brilliant this season. And Guerrero had a good chance there, but not finding the back of the net. Let's see. Indeed, it has been Haggis. Two more shots here since the break, but none of them on target, unfortunately, for the visitors. Northern Burn, Rui Costa still down on a six. Everyone else doing well. Fitness wise, no concerns. Cannavaro on 83, the lowest, but everyone doing a sort of a decent enough job. Will surprise me if Mr. Edwards makes any changes here, but you never know. The option is there for sure. Meanwhile, over at Haggis, as mentioned, the new boys did have some kind of an impact, or maybe the tactical change had an impact. They had the two additional shots, none of them on target, unfortunately. I believe it must have been Montello and Guerrero. Evening, Mike. We'll see. Inzaghi is obviously the last card potentially to be dealt for Haggis here. Um, we'll see if the manager wants to go with that or if he wants to make any changes, put arrows on people. Difficult. It's a difficult position to be in, of course. Maybe what 6 or 7 games in then for Haggis with just the one win to show for it, unless they can turn this one around. Um, Two up top is an option as well. Kalajax, although I think he prefers us to play as a lone striker. And Figo could go in behind. There's plenty of options here, of course. The sort of the back four square can, of course, stay the way that they are, but it should be possible to do something with the front guys. People for Guerrero, Proton into flat. Uh-huh. Guerrero goes off, people inside, he comes on, they go up top. These guys go to a flat four midfield. Push AMs up to SC. How? Push AMs up to striker center. Like, I don't know. Like this? Or just like this? Straight or like Alf style? Or actually physically move them? That's gonna be crowded. Mhm. Sorry for the multiple messages. Three up front. Proton DMC. Proton into MC. Flat for MC. I'm a little bit lost. Maybe like this? I'm guessing this. We'll see. We'll see. All right, cool. Excellent. Brilliant. We got there in the end. Let's see how it goes. Haggis, they have half an hour to turn this one around. Going very attacking here. Could go either way, to be honest. Um, 22 minutes still to play. Still created a couple of chances. I'm not sure if any of them have actually been on target. I think I've seen Buffon's name a couple of times. Oh, Carlos Jacques brought him up, central striker, and he's had an impact immediately, more or less. Equalized for Haggis there, just a couple of minutes left. We'll slow it down just to see if it gets exciting or if it fizzles out. Um, Vieira picks up a yellow card there for holding back someone. Figo lines up the free kick. There's 4 minutes, so 8 minutes still to play. Seven now. Ljungberg comes forward trying to do his best here, but now it kind of sort of dies down a little bit in terms of action, and indeed it finishes like that. Haggis, yeah, I mean, manager certainly earning his money there. Northern Bunch struggling to hold on against that sort of onslaught, massive attacking lineup, and Kalajak's proven to everyone where he needs to play. You might have Montella and Sagi there, but if you want goals from Kalajak's, positive contributions, then he should play as the central striker, probably alone, better than in a pair. But yeah, we will see. Anyway, Northern Burn picks up a point on the road, not what they ideally would have wanted, but I think on reflection, manager might be sort of reasonably accepting of that outcome. The assist came for Filippo Inzaghi, who had a wonderful time next to Carlos Jacques. And as Paul says, a brilliant result for everyone else. Indeed, the big winner here is everyone that's not Nor Haggis, everyone who's not down on the bottom. Great for Sancte as well, giving them an opportunity to close the gap. Walter Samuel, good performance from him. So interesting first game of the evening. Lots of fun in this one. We have the game suggests Sloths against Dudley Hill. Um, I guess we could go Sloths against Dudley Hill. I'm just trying to see if I'd received the message from Alf. I haven't yet, because Gareth Barry is unfortunately injured and unable to play this evening. There's of course a selection of people to choose from. There's Kale, there's Woodgate, there's Stam, there's Maicon. So I presume Kale because he's done well. So that seems like the obvious choice. Getting shafted by Hail Marys. Was that LSK? Did LSK do something similar, or was that my imagination? But anyway, I'll let Alf confirm. Meanwhile, I'll just have a quick look at Dudley and see how they line up this evening. Vogel is back. Dyer is in at MC, I believe. I think I might have, um, if not messed up the pick, then misinterpreted some old information. But I hope it's okay, Steve. Otherwise, please give us a shout if that's different. Okay, we want Woodgate in, that's fine. Stam is getting punished, Scott, for his horrendous performance last time out. So this is how Dudley lines up. It's Collins who's come back. Indeed, it's Collins back in for Franca. It's Vogel back in here, and then the other changes was Donny taking someone's place on the bench. That's right. I recall now. Aaron Dyer. Um, yep, you can have that. Absolutely. Um, Excellent. So hopefully, this will be okay. So we go like this with Dudley, and we take Woodgate on for his first start of the season, probably. It's looking decent, Woodgate, to be honest. We'll see how it goes this evening. He's coming in for the for Barry, who was otherwise selected. Interesting scenario here from I believe Eleftheropoulos was captain. Interesting scenario here with Sloths and the way that they've set up the tactics here. A little bit different than what we've seen before, and Kessman coming in there from the side into that front three. Could be good. I mean, we've got Dunwell in there as well. Elba. There's definitely people who can score goals, and if Manuel Pablo Antonetto can come forward, then yeah, it could be interesting. Steve's already worried. I can see that when someone throws a curveball, then the opponent managers always get worried because you don't know what's going to happen. There's another curveball coming later this evening. You will see. So don't blow all your excitement just yet. Aha, this is another problem. Only three foreign players are allowed. Um, I am going to suggest that one of these guys get out, of course, of the subs. Araujo maybe, or Giovanni for Harasimovic. He's right, so is Giovanni. I guess that would make the most sense. But yeah, we only allow three foreigners. I hadn't spotted that, so apologies. Hey, David, good to see you. So yes, I think that probably makes the most sense to put Hashim Medovic on because he covers the right hand side as well as Giovanni, just to get under that four sub or 4 foreigner limit or 3 foreigner limit, whatever it was. So um, yes, Alf, but you have 4 foreigners. You cannot have 4 foreigners. There's one. Look, you can only have 3 foreign players in your squad, so you're going to have to play this fella or someone else. Can be Elda, can be Vasiliuk. Take your pick, but you can't have Giovanni, unfortunately. That was great until I saw that. Yeah, well, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. And we'll take Vasiliuk instead. Okay, cool. No problem. Right, let's kick this one off. Sloss against Dudley. Second game of the evening. Sloss with their uh, version 3 tactic of the season, and Dudley Hill with Collins back in the starting lineup. Let's see if Sloths can find the back of the net with that attacking lineup. Dunwell, interesting choice. Hoping that he'll do something in the league. We're so many seasons in now. His stats have developed quite well, quite nicely. So there should be goals in him, but we'll see if that will actually happen. I saw his name pop up once or twice there, but hasn't really threatened yet. There was a save from the Dudley keeper, and there's David Collins. He just came back from injury, didn't he? Uh, Oh, groin strain he had. Now a damaged shoulder. Yeah, it's not been great for him. I presume Brosek's straight swap. Um, that would make sense. Al says he'll lose anyway, which is a bit defeatist. Um, not sure if that's going to be the case. We'll just wait for Steve to confirm if Brosek is indeed the correct substitution to make here. But I guess with the options available, that is the one that makes sense. And it's Brozic coming in. Brozic has done well when he's come in anyway so far this season. So as I recall, he scored already once, maybe twice. Who knows? We can check that at half time. But fairly even so far. Yellow card for one of the Dudley players. Slots come forward again. Manuel Pablo is there. Free kick, Elba. Good save by the Dudley keeper, I think it was. 3-2, 4-2, very even here in the first half. Hetman's on an 8, Lucius on a 6. Vogel, yellow card at a 6. He's been not great this season, did very well after joining from Fulchester last year. Again, good average ratings, not really done a lot, but a lot of tackling, but so far it's not been fantastic season for him. Um, Ortega, the captain's only on a 6. Brosek, as mentioned, he scored on all his, pretty much all his appearances anyway, on average. 4 goals in 5 sub appearances, so decent for him. Um, Sloss, meanwhile, Tonetto's on a 9. No one's on a 5. No one has any fitness concerns. So it's looking. I mean, apart from the fact that they haven't scored, it's not looking brilliant, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, it isn't looking too bad. Help on a yellow. Biscan's on an 8. He played well last time out. Got a 9 as well. He's liking that. Um, Right, Dudley's doing something here. Brosek to the left of 2 strikers. Ortega central with arrow off Dyer. There you go. Dudley going 2 up top, looking for a goal here early on in the second half. We'll see if Alf wants to do anything for the Sloths or if he's happy enough to roll. Vasiuk on the bench, of course, as we mentioned. Arroyo is there. Dunwell's on a 6. Didn't have a great first game. 20 finishing though. Uh, Good strength as well, good teamwork, but he gets pulled. And it's Vasiuk who comes on, Roman Vasiuk. Another with 20 finishing, good pace as well, good jumping. A little bit less in the strength department, good agility, however you want to call it. And there he is. He makes an appearance here from the beginning of the second half. Excellent. Let's kick off the second half, first 15 minutes, and see if either of those changes are going to bring any luck to the managers. First 4 minutes, and it's Brosek, it's Dyer, it's Kluivert chased down by Valgarden, I think it was, or Woodgate even. Woodgate gets the yellow card. Goal kick for Sloths. Another 5-6 minutes goes past here, not a lot happening. It's Calazzo, Roberto Carlos. It is Valgarin who deflected the shot. Goes down the other end. Kluivert stays offside. Nothing happens there either. Pretty quiet start to the second half. Just one chance for Sloth, I think 2 for Dudley maybe. 6-3, 3-2 now. Dudley uh, looking at someone like Milevski and Sinoni are the 2 options. No real fitness concerns. And in terms of ratings, looking pretty good as well. Manager presumably going to stick, but we'll wait and see. Sloss, meanwhile, Biscan's now on a 9, Tonetto's on an 8, doing well on the flank. Dropped a little bit from first half, but still good. Eleftheropoulos is on an 8. Bulgarian, who I think has been involved quite a lot, somehow only on a 6. I thought he'd done better. There's Placenta and Aurelio on the bench. No 5s though, and no low fitnesses. Sinoni for Dyer and Rolls as Stee, so we will do that. Dyer goes off, Sinoni comes on, and then he is good to go. Sloths, meanwhile, we'll see if Alf wants to make any changes at this point. As mentioned, he has got Araujo and Placenta at his disposal. Given that Tonetto's on an 8, it's unlikely that we'll see Placenta, obviously, but Nauru could come in, although for who, that is the question. Everyone has actually been putting in a half decent shift, apart from Valgarin, and there's not really a sort of an obvious replacement from him. Alf goes as is, sticks with what he's got for the last 30 minutes. Let's see how that goes. Yes, man, coming forward there. Um, Oof, and there's Elba picking up his second yellow. That's a red card. Question is if he goes just with moves Kessman up top or if leaving Kessman where he is. I mean, that would be sort of the obvious solution, but we'll wait and see for the manager to confirm that. In the meantime, Steve, if you want to confirm if you want to make any changes or if you want to leave it as is, it's obviously your choice now in case of the red card. Not what you need when you're chasing a goal. Toneto up to a 9, obviously. That's always positive. And yeah, and Biscan on the 9 as well. So positives to take from it. Seedorf on an 8 as well, liking that long arrow getting involved here. And that's obviously another positive to take from it. But with a red card, it's going to be tricky. Only 20 minutes to play, though, is probably not going to play into it sort of fitness wise. But it could obviously be an issue for uh, scoring goals. Kissman up top right. Excellent. We shall do that. And then nothing from Stee as yet, so I guess he's happy to roll. Um, we'll try and do that for the last 20 minutes. Oh, and as if it wasn't bad enough, I believe Pablo right-sided, Placente. I mean, we're gonna have to. Um, we'll see who comes on here. It's not been Araujo, maybe could play a wing back. Who knows? Biscan could move out there as well. But of course, with Manuel Pablo now out, yeah, we'll see who the manager wants to swap him with. If it'll be Placenta, Placenta, I guess, could potentially run that right side. Toneto would be ashamed to swap it around, considering how well he's been playing. I think I would go straight swap for Placenta and just kind of roll with it for the last 18, 19 minutes. Um, and hope for the best. Placenta, of course, very experienced, high quality player. Don't think that would be a huge issue, but we'll see. We'll see what the manager wants to do at this point. A challenging start to the to the game, with Barry being out injured, with an additional foreigner being selected, with a red card, and now with an injury. It's not definitely not the easiest to be a Super League manager. Placenta comes on. Placenta left. I guess it's Toretto right then. Excellent. And there we go. Well, let's see. Let's see. Placente, that's a bit of a wildcat down that left hand flank. Let's see if that can cause problems for Dudley Hill. Yellow card there, and it's kind of a lot of sloths here. There's Kessman, there's Tonetto. It's an awkward formation. They're down to 10. Could sort of like bring a bit of fighting spirit to the Sloths. Just a couple of minutes left to play now. We'll see if anyone can find the late winner here. Dudley had a good chance, but it runs out 0-0. Sloths hanging on. Good enough performance from them for sure. Dudley Hill probably did a little bit disappointed not being able to capitalize. Lucio got down to a 6. Ariel Ortega's only on a 6. That's not going to please his manager. Brosek didn't manage to find the back of the net. Not ideal, but Dudley take a point away from home. Pathetic from us, says D. Well, I'd say it was slightly disappointing, but if you want to call it pathetic, and if the Rapulas with a brilliant performance, Toneto's on an 8. Woodgate did well coming in there, got a yellow card though, and still an 8, so that's probably a 9 without the yellow. Sadov had a decent enough game there as well, even had a shot on target with an 8. Dunwell, not really. Biscan man of the match on a 9, very good passing performance from him. Dacour did well. Basiu come in, did okay. Placentis on a 6. Pablo's out, but he has got Maicon in his back pocket, of course, who would come in on that right hand side. So, second game of the evening finishes goalless. Sloths against Dudley. It's a 0-0 draw. Next up, it looks as if we have got Los Santos and Badges. I noticed that both Tato and Scott are or were for sure here. The Boothtown Badges only with the one change. It's Owen who comes in for Red. So that's the only change for Badges, who have kind of had a sort of a change in fortune since the start of the season, which was kind of sucky for them. But now away to Los Santos, not an easy one for them. And Los Santos, meanwhile, they have a problem with their goalkeepers. So Peter Cech, I think, did he not say Dudek? I think he said Dudek, if I'm being completely honest. I think he probably said Dudek is on the bench, as I recall. Um, Welsh moves into central midfield. Pamodukar comes in, and John Welsh take the captain's armband. Pamodukar's going to have to get himself a squad number, but we'll deal with that once we get to it. Barry Ferguson's on the bench, along with Rosicky and Morientes, and aforementioned Jerzy Dudek. Let's see if we will see him in action. Manager will probably hope not. Um, Indeed, it is Los Santos against the Badgers. Pamodukar gets squad number 15. All right, here we go, says Badgers. You are ready for this one. First half kicking off straight away. Home side looking for a result here, and Badgers looking to continue their good one. It's Michael Owen, who recently replaced Rayad in the starting lineup, who opens the scoring for the visitors, and it's King Titi beat you to it. Steve with his I don't know how many of the season. He's got a couple already, I think. Good start for Badgers here, controlling that first half, going 2-0 up. Sigalko yet to see the best of him. Probably would have been better off keeping Kalajak at this rate, but you gotta gamble sometimes. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes less so, obviously. Sigalko trying again, but just not finding. He's just not. It's just not the Sigalko that you get on home saves, apparently, that we have in the Super League at the moment. 4-1 for Los Santos, 3-3 for Badges. By far the more cynical side. Completely unable to win headers though. Um, let's see who got the assists. It was Matty Holland and Edgar Davids getting the assists for them. Didier Gat not been brilliant since he came in for Mendieta, who we will see in action later this evening. Paul Scholes on a 6 and Chimo Klump is on a 6 as well. Fitness wise, everyone's doing pretty good, so nothing to worry about for the manager, I guess, from that perspective. Over at Los Santos, Marcos not doing brilliantly, joined from Stanley, where he actually did decent replacing Westerveld. Pamudukar's getting an 8 on his debut, so that's good news for the manager. Dede Agahawa, John Welsh, 6 and 4 passes for central midfield. Maybe not. Maybe not. Barry Ferguson is on the bench if the manager fancies any changes. If your central midfielder has the same passing stats as your goalkeeper, then that's not necessarily a good sign in terms of creating opportunities. Sigalkos, as mentioned, has been terrible, and yeah. That, the less said about that, the better probably. Welsh comes off for Morientes, who moves to left striker. Um, and we'll see if that'll change things up. Got to get some more firepower up there next to Sigalko. He's not giving the return that the manager's been hoping for. That's for sure. But we'll see. Things can still change in this season, of course. Back down to fast pace. See if any of those changes have any impact here in the beginning of the second half. Scholes did something, laid the ball off. They got a free kick. Giggs takes it, deflected off the wall. Sigalko coming forward, trying his best to break that kind of issue that he's had of hitting the target in this game. Not been successful so far. Holland commits a free kick there, dangerous area. I thought it was Holland committed it, but never mind. Khan Patsasoglu seems to have a good sort of working relationship in this first game they've got together. Both were at 8s at half time, and you see them combining a fair bit in the comments. Very eventful first 15 minutes, I have to say, of the second half here. Los Santos pushing forward, but not able to find the back of the net. 6-2 now. Badgers are stuck on 3-3, not really creating a whole lot in the second half themselves. Rayad, Adu, and Rijash on the bench. Those are the options. Fitness-wise, everything's looking good. So presume the manager will stick, but you never know. It's always a temptation to bring Rayad on, isn't it? With this sort of random scattering of 20s. Meanwhile, Los Santos, Dede Agahawa and Sigalco and now Morientes are still sort of rolling around in the sixes, not really doing a fantastic amount. We'll see if the manager wants to do anything. No sort of immediate fitness concerns. Silvestre on an on a yellow. Dede Nagahawa the same on the wings. Not sure if that's enough cause for concern for the manager to pull any of them. Rayat on for Agat. The rest can stay. Let's hope we cling on. Indeed, fingers crossed for you that you will hang on. Rayad comes in. Maybe he'll get an assist. He likes getting assists. Rosicky for Agahawa. There we go. Arrow on Nikiforenko, and that is it. Excellent. Thanks very much. Half an hour left to play. Can Los Santos turn this around? Now there's 13 minutes left to play. Now there's 8 minutes left to play. This goes very quick. And Nikiforenko with that arrow. He likes that vital goal for Los Santos. Pulling one back here. Can they rescue a draw from this one? That would be something of a comeback. Only 3 minutes added on though, and it looks as if we're not going to get any more chances. Or are we? Nikiforenko could beat Okoronkwo, and it goes down the other end. Davids is fouled. Rosicky holds him back. Yellow card being dished out. Rosicky must be careful. Just 2 minutes left, though. I'm sure he can manage. And there it is. Indeed, a bit of a heavy battering, especially after the changes. Los Santos 8-3 badges and 3-3, just being more cynical. Just worked out for them. Um, Overall performance not amazing, but also not bad. Everyone on either 7 or 8. Okoronkwo probably stands out with a 9 and 8 in terms of the tackles, so a solid game for him. Meanwhile, Pablo did brilliantly on his debut. Not entirely sure that justifies a 9. He did get an assist though. That's pretty good. Nikiforenko with a goal. Tigalco not brilliantly, and poor passing as well, to be completely honest. Tomasi should be back in a week or two, I guess. And yeah, kind of got away with one a little bit there. You kind of have to agree. Marcus somehow got an 8. It didn't do anything in the second half. Good pass completion though, for a goalkeeper. Still did more than in passes than Rosicky for sure. Excellent. So well done, Badgers, winning on the road. The game suggests Exile Stanley coming up next. We do have Mike here for sure. I've not seen Neil around, but if Mike is here, then we're all good to go with this one. Um, Mendieta comes in. He plays at AMC. Casano moves up front because Vieri is still injured. Those are the only changes for league leaders, Atletico Exiles, as they look forward to hosting Stanley. Mendieta gets number 7. That's probably appropriate. Red Rose Stanley. A couple of changes for them. Kili Gonzalez is is unceremoniously dumped. Ronaldo comes in for him. Ronnie Johnson is in for Paredes at DMC. Wes Brown takes Johnson's place on the bench, and Georgic takes the place of Ronaldo, I believe it was, on the bench. A couple of interesting transfers coming in for Red Rose Stanley. Looking forward to seeing how those work out. A couple of out of league signings that I didn't see coming, but yeah, especially the non-Romanian fella. I forget his name. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. That's a real Mike signing, that one. So looking forward to that. Um, Good result last time out. It didn't really catapult them up the table, but it certainly keeps them in contention here. Stanley, tough one for them obviously now away to Exiles. They're always difficult to beat. As you can see, only 1 defeat in 7, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed for both managers as we dive into this one. Stanley and the wonderful away kit. Exiles kicking off this one, first half, and let's see who will get off to the better start. Will Mendieta have a dream debut for Exiles, or will he be kept quiet by the shrimpy formation of the Stanley? So far, so good for the away side. Lee Jung Pyo coming forward there. But it's Smooch. You can't keep a good man down. Exiles open the scoring on 23 minutes, taking the lead. It's Guillermo who fires back for Stanley, having joined recently from Haggis, I believe, possibly. Finding the back of the net for the visitors. 1-1 here. Very evenly matched so far. Del Piero comes forward. Good save by the Exiles keeper there. Exiles creating their own chances as well. There comes Roberto forward, probably one of the best average ratings in the league so far, as I recall. Guillem getting involved again, and there's Del Piero trying to find the back of the net. Brilliant first half, to be honest. Plenty of chances. 4-4, 4-3. Accurate finishing from both sides as well, and good goalkeeping performances to keep the scores relatively low. Esteban, who is of course the preferred keeper at Stanley at the moment, gets a 7. Ugo Ehiyog with an 8. Everyone else is sitting on 7s. Ronaldo as well. He did get the assist for Guillermo, who put them back in the game 1-1. Meanwhile, Exiles, Roberto, as mentioned, probably the highest average rating in the league, indeed, 843, and he's not going to get any worse after this one. That's a 9 and an assist at halftime. Raul with 3 shots, all on target, and in general, sort of a decent-ish performance from Stanley. No one really stands out. Mike says play on, so that's exactly what we are going to do. First 15 of the second half coming up, and I mean, it's backwards and forwards. His chances as action at both ends. Mendieta comes forward now, and it's Raul, but it's Neville. He has a long ball forward. Then it comes forward again. Leon Pio. Raul sticks out the leg, brings him down. Yellow card, free kick. And Constanzo gathers the ball, end-to-end action, he says, as the game completely fizzles out for the next 5-10 minutes. Stanley with a couple of chances in the second half, nothing for Exiles yet. Alessandro Del Piero just begging to be substituted with Bojan Djordjic, and Gary Neville, the captain, could be doing better in the air. But apart from that, Stanley are looking sort of fairly decent, you have to say. Fitness-wise, no concerns really. Ronnie Johnson's down to 80%, but that's because he's old. Robbie Savage could potentially come on to cover him if he picks up an injury. I mean, I guess he could. Meanwhile, Exiles, not a lot of change since half time. Mendieta's on a 6, not thoroughly enjoying his AMC role so far, but we'll see if he gets used to that in time. See if Mike has any changes to make. Del Piero, he has got 3 assists though. He's had a decent start. He is either footed, 7 average. Uh, yeah, he is coming on. He is coming on, Djordjic. Scorer of important goals last season. Scored in every third match, which is kind of good. Delivery P. I mean, with 3 assists and 6, it's not that far fetched. Excellent. Well, we'll see how it goes with that substitution. If Georgic will live up to the reputation that I have given him as an important goal scorer. Mendieta can score goals as well. Of course, we've seen that before, but not been able to do so as of yet. 10 minutes left. We'll slow it down. Esteban pushes it away. The ball falls to Mendieta, but Esteban with a good save there. Exiles coming forward now, looking to stamp their authority on the league. There comes Mendieta, and it is the new signing. He was on a 6. He scores on his debut. Definitely not going to be at the 6 in terms of average rating comes the end of this. Can Stanley equalise again as they did in the first half? 6 minutes it took them in the first half to equalise. They do have 6 minutes to do it here in the second. The question is if they will. They are coming forward now. They created a couple of chances. There they go again, but it's Smooch who gets it. It's Ehiyog, it's Casano. Everyone is piling forward for Exiles. They're just trying to get the shot on target. They didn't extend the lead, but it finishes 2-1 in a very, very hotly contested affair here with Exiles. Just edging it in terms of shots on target. Stanley perhaps a little bit unlucky not to come away with at least a point from this one, but a good performance from Esteban in the goal and not a terrible performance by anyone else. Um, Away to the league leaders to run them so close and only lose by the one late goal is perhaps not the worst result in hindsight. But Mike will probably rather have had the points, to be honest. Sid Roberto, man of the match, he gets a 10 with the assist. Mendieta plays himself up to a 7. He got the goal, Smuts the other one. Costanzo in the goal, also a good performance by him. Yeah, they have, of course, got Christian Vieri to come back. So, Exiles looking good. They have looked good early on in the season in the past and faltered. Let's see if they can stick with it this season. Good tackling from Charlie Chaos, by the way, just as we're looking at that. Excellent. We have got Sancte against Fulchester, but I will probably save that until the end because don't think either manager is here. Although, who is here? Vikings? Who are Vikings playing? They're playing. Not seen Dimple about. either. Maybe we do go with a managerless game because I don't recall seeing Smutch or Alex either. So we'll go Sancte against Fulchester. And here, as mentioned, is a proper holiday lineup here. Um, yeah. Roscoe's 4-3-1-4-1-3-1-1. And yeah, full actual fullbacks. It's not often we see them, especially without arrows. That's been a while. Probably Craig in the old guest cell stays. Evening, Alex. Excellent. We'll get you on next. Um, it's been a while since we've seen fullbacks, I think. Oh, Mike maybe had fullbacks last season. The 4-4-2 maybe. We don't see them often. We'll see what they do this evening. Sancte trying something different. They're obviously off to a terrible start, having conceded a ridiculous amount of goals, 14 and 5. We'll see if it gets any better against Fulchester. Fulchester, as is, they had a tough game last time out, managed to get a point, I think. But yeah, overall, a decent start to the season for Fulchester. As mentioned, as is Keane, Olisa Davey, couple of guys who's done pretty well. But we spoke about that last time, so won't dwell too much on that. We kick this one off at Sancte hosting Fulchester, and it is Riquelme with a shot there. Roy Keane, of course, the man that everyone talks about for Fulchester, sort of has galvanized that team into a solid point accumulating machine, which has not always been a moniker you could use for Fulchester. But they've had a good start to the season, although this is probably going to be a little bit tricky for them. They're going to have Gattuso going to have to cover that by himself now. Not a particularly attacking formation by the home side, so I don't think there's any need to go to DMCs. They only have one AMC over at the Sancte, and they'll probably be solid enough going man for man with Gattuso, so we'll move him centrally. Oh, Santa. Oh, you're here then. Okay, excellent. Well, as you requested, set your DMZ play on. We will see. Obviously, not what the manager wanted to see, but they are up against Sancte, who have struggled this season. So, if there's any game where they can hold on, then this is probably it. Let's have a look at the stats. 1-1 for Sancte, struggling again. Fulchester 3-2 have been a little bit better. They are down to 10 though, which could be an issue for them. Olisa Davies is on the bench. Sorry, is on a 6. Viduka, Songyong Cook, and Litos are the options on the bench. Presume that is going to roll till 60 and bring Viduka on. I'm just guessing here. Sancta, meanwhile, there are some instructions. I think they were as is until 60, but I will just double check that as it as 60. Yes, indeed. Um, Sancta are going as is, so we will just a quick look at Fulchester and see if Dan wants to do anything. Oh, it's an early swap. Olisa David for Viduka, 2 up front, center AMC, keep the arrow. Is Hussein? Oh, he is center. Okay, cool. Good, good. Attacking was rewarded earlier this evening when Haggis did it. So we will see if it'll work out the same for Fulchester. First 15 of the second half coming up. Sancte only had one shot in the first half. There comes Riquelme. Um, Takes the legs away of someone, or someone took the legs away from him. Um, but still can't find the back of the net. Riquelme takes the free kick. He's had a couple already this game, not really been able to do much with them. Good parry by the keeper there. Riquelme again trying to create something. Wellens getting involved. Wang lays it off. Ricken. Great chances. Frey with great saves for Fulchester, keeping them in it here in the beginning of the second half. Chances that Sancte didn't have in the first half. They've had plenty here in the beginning of the second, or so it appeared. I thought they had more than that. 2-2 now. Fulchester 3-2. Um, let's have a look at Fulchester. Dragatas is on a 6. I believe that's the kind of the only sort of. Oh, and Lamy as well. For some reason, the wingers are not. They've been good. Lamy 6-2 and 2-6, and Dragatas the same. They've been brilliant so far this season. But obviously, the deep lying fullbacks at Sancta is just something that they cannot deal with. It's not worked out for them. Maybe it's time for those kind of like diagonal arrows to the center, as Joe Palmer once experimented with. Um, Keen back to DMC, both DMCs with arrow up. We shall do that. Meanwhile, let me refer back to my notes. On 60, where are we? Sanctay. Swap Richie with Zinedine Zidane, and then Zidane for Emre. Santa Cruz for Riquelme if 7 or lower. Indeed, he is. Santa Cruz comes on. So yeah, that's what we're going with. Um, oh, you're here. Okay. Sorry, I didn't see that. I made the changes that you instructed, but I'm happy to cancel them, of course. Thought you were on holiday, and you turn up for this. You're more than welcome, obviously, at any time, Ross. There we go. Last 30 minutes coming up. Can anyone find a goal here in this encounter? Um, Judging on the first couple of actions after we restarted it, it's going to be Sanctay. They've had a bunch of opportunities, but full chest hanging on for dear life here. If that's going to be only going to be 2 or 3 shots on target for Sanctay, then I think I'm sort of losing my ability to keep up with the text here. It looks as if Frey has had about 15 saves so far for Sanctay. Good news for Sanctay is that they haven't conceded, which has been a huge issue for them so far this season, of course. But sadly for them, they haven't found the back of the net either, despite their best efforts. Frey even dropping the ball, and there it is. They could not hold any longer, and it's Santa Cruz who capitalizes just towards the end of the game. A huge amount of pressure piled on by Sanctay there. The interesting that it worked out so well with the fullbacks sitting so far back, completely nullifying the threat from Jogatas and Lame, who'd done so well for Fulchester this season. But yeah, not ideal when you get a man sent off playing an hour with just 10 men and some kind of like bit of a a shot in the dark with the fullbacks there. They it somehow works out that they completely nullified the Fulchester threat from the wing. Rocky Santa Cruz, man of the match. Impressive considering that he only had 30 minutes, but he had 3 shots on target in that time, scored a goal, and of course secured all 3 points for Sanctay. So good news for them, at least doing it their bit to kind of close the gap on Haggis. Will they caught Haggis potentially? We'll see at the end of the show how that has worked out for them. Um, Alex against who? Right, so we have got Steve probably here. Dimple, not sure. Um, we've got Alex against Foss Road, not seen Smuts. So if any of those 4 people, if Dimple or Smuts are here, then please raise a hand. If not, then I will go with what's on the screen, and we'll run with Vikings against East Coast. I will do that anyway, just because why not? Um, East Coast go unchanged from their 1-1 draw with Exiles last time out. Seventh, looking to catch up, of course. East Coast to squeeze above that line. Some of the transfers that they made, I didn't think they were going to weaken them, but it looks as if it somehow has. I'm not entirely sure, but somehow they don't look quite as threatening as they did last season. Maybe it's Constantino being out. He had such a good start to the season, 5-4. Romeo has done okay, but didn't score. Maybe that's the big change from last season. But that's where we're at with East Coast. Unchanged since last week. Vikings also unchanged. Of course, they had a good 1-1 draw with Fulchester. They're still without Nedved, which is going to be a big miss for them. He will be back in a couple of weeks. He had a brilliant start to the season. Not heard any transfer news really coming through from any size yet. Vikings, of course, have players that might be of interest to some. I mean, Shevchenko's having a fantastic season, and not always that we see that. So let's crack on with this one. It is Vikings at home to East Coast, and the first half has kicked off. Obviously, Vikings having a completely different start to the season compared to last And I'm not sure if the managers are getting used to win, to winning games and sitting here at the top of the table. But there is more of it. It's Arca, and I believe he was the unsung hero with 5 assists so far this season, and now he's found the back of the net, opened the scoring for Vikings against East Coast, who are definitely not an easy team to beat. That's going to be a huge statement for Vikings if they can continue to impress the way that they have done so far in the first half. That's 2 goals for Julio Arca. What a game that is for Vikings. They are 3-0 up now against East Coast, and what a dramatic fall from grace East Coast have had compared to the start they had last season, the season they've had now, the start they've had now. It's night and day. It is night and day. 6-5 for Vikings, 2-1 for East Coast. Terrible defensive performance from Turan, from Emerson, from say Elias, from Sambrota, all getting a 5. Manager would be furious to see that, obviously. And fitness wise, they're okay. Meanwhile, Vikings have a look at this one. Volodenko with an assist, Yusuf Hersi with 2 assists, and Julio Arca, as mentioned, he had 5 assists and a goal. He's with 2 goals now. He's 7, 3, and 5 for 8. That is gonna be up there, even if he doesn't have say Roberto average ratings. That is spectacular for the Vikings fullback, benefiting from having Volodenko, I think, as his playmate over on the other side instead of the eternal Emerton experiment, which never works out well for anyone. Did okay for Foster back in the day, but for me, not. He's not for me at DMR. Anyway, as is for Vikings and not seen Dimble about, so it's going to be an as is for East Coast as well until 60. Difficult one to turn around anyway, this one, I think. Sabrosa and Kewell combining there. Kewell, of course, one of the new signings. Ronaldinho, I think it was, went to Foster Road, and Kewell has come in, not been able to do as much as the manager had perhaps hoped for. And here we are at 60. Not a lot happening in the beginning of the second half. Vikings 7-6, East Coast still 2-1. Emerson's on a 5. Everyone else has sort of played themselves up a little bit. The Silva, Reyes, Amoruso, are those game changers on the bench? Perhaps, perhaps not. It's yeah, it's it, it's such a contrast to the East Coast side of last season. That's all I'm trying to say here. Meanwhile, let's have a look at Vikings. No cause for concern for the manager. Everyone doing brilliantly. All on sevens at least. Fitness is looking good as well. Of course, there is an option to bring in Kutuzov and Salas, but who do you bring them in for? The other guys have done spectacularly well. Solochinsky is an option, but the manager goes as is. Last 30 coming up. We'll see if Vikings can hold on to that 3-0 lead. Presumably they can, but you never know. Well, an early goal back for East Coast could obviously change things a bit, but with 15 minutes left to play, they still haven't been near. It's been all Vikings refinding that form from when they finished top of the table, what, 2 or 3 seasons ago under Jens, and it seems as if they're going to hang on to this 3-0. Emerson coming forward there, trying to prove a point after that criticism, but it is Vikings who hold on. And will they go top with no? Because Exiles won. Vikings definitely holding on to a top-ish spot here with that impressive 3-0 win against East Coast. Good news for the teams below the dotted line, that East Coast, who were in 7th, failed to pick up any points here. But yeah, that's how it ends. 3-0 Vikings. Poor performance from East Coast, just a bit of an off day. Happened to them a couple of times last season as well, after that impressive run that they were on, and the players just didn't really turn up. And today was another one of those. Just a reminder that Julio Arca, brilliant performance, of course, gets the Man of the Match awards, and everyone else done a decent job. Last but not least, this evening, we have got Stackington, Alex, up against Foss Road. So the apprentice against his former employer. And the four starts for Etu. That's the only change for Stackington in their lineup this evening. And Foss Road, I don't think they changed anything. Um, they also won 2-0, so why would they? And they've got Argyle and Hofland. Lauerson though, no, not Lauerson. He's not done well, so it's probably fine. Lee Boy is still out, so of course there's no change there. So let's see how this goes. Last game of the evening, Stackington hosting Foss Road. Foss Road are in good form. Indeed, they are. And instead of playing in blue, they're playing in green because that's somehow not clashing with green. But never mind. First half kicks off. Stackington against Foss Road. Ronaldinho picks up an early yellow, not what the manager wanted to see. Probably wants a goal from Ronaldinho rather than yellow cards. Um, Defoe there. Remember Defoe came in at some point and got goals, but it's Viali is an unlikely goal scorer, and there is Rivaldo, who's also found the back of the net on a couple of occasions previously, to the surprise of everyone who don't really rate him in the Super League. But he's found a home at Stackington. He's doing well, and he's brought the home side a 2-0 lead. Actually, it's going to be three. You would not believe it, but it's Defoe who makes it three. Stackington in complete control here against Foss Road, 7-5, 2-0 for the visitors. Even more one-sided than the previous games, which saw Viking um, hammering East Coast. Nick Matulin's on 4. Uh, that's that's not gone well. That's not gone well at all, and the manager's not here to pull him off. So that's a shame. Let's hope he let's hope he improves in the second half. Um, Good home form. Assist for Guigo, assist for Finnan, and goals as mentioned for Rivaldo. Yes, it's not the most impressive start to the season, but he had 19, 2, and 5 last time out, last season, and it's not bad. It's not bad at all, considering that he's not like there as a out and out goal scorer or huge creative player. It's not a bad return from him. BM Bialy, who I believe the manager maybe didn't fancy initially when he brought him in from Fulchester, or maybe Fulchester didn't fancy him. I don't know. He's played well. Another player who's done a decent job. So solid first half performance from Stackington. We roll into the second half. First 15 coming up. Foss Road will have to find something pretty much straight away to get back into this one. Ronaldinho, instead of picking up yellow, should probably start picking up goals. But Shea Given so difficult to get past, usually anyway, is preventing him from putting one back for Foss Road. Beckham lines up. Good free kick from him. Uh, doesn't find anyone in a meaningful way. Given gets the ball. Van Nistelrooy again. Good tackle by Voigt though. Came in for Yakubu, I think, when he got injured, did well, and is still doing well. Yakubu will have to do a solid job to get back into this lineup. If this result stays that way, then anyone will have to do something very special to try and get back into the Stackington lineup. But let's see if they can keep it going until full time. White comes forward. There's Defoe and Nelka. Nick Tulin does well to parry it and it goes out for a corner. 8-5. Foss Road coming back into it with 4-1. Still not really finding their shooting boots. Van Nistelrooy sitting there on two shots and none of them on target. Same as Ronaldinho. Joe Cole has actually found the target, but not really done anything. And Nicholas Anelka is going to be sub off. He ain't gonna like that. I think. But okay, fingers crossed for you. But yeah, Anelka might be available in the upcoming transfer window. We'll have to see. Last 30 coming on of the last game of the evening. Let's see if Stackington can hold on or if they can build on that lead. Um, Foss Road threatening a lot more here in the second half. Just didn't turn up at all in the first. But you feel as if they don't get a goal soon, Foss Road, then Stackington might just hammer a nail in the coffin and get a fourth here. Just a couple of minutes left to play now. We'll keep it at the high speed because the result is probably not in doubt. It's still Stackington coming forward. I don't think Francis Jeffers is going to get a goal. He isn't. Foss Road, plenty of chances, plenty of shots on target in the second half, but too little, too late. And Given probably picks up an 8 or a 9 and kept Stackington in it. So well done to the home side and congratulations. Um, Foss Road, very poor first half performance. Nick Matulian with that 4, obviously just throwing the whole thing away. They probably would have had a draw if it wasn't for that. He's been decent in the second half. VM Viali gets the man of the match award. He gets a 9. So it's Guigu. Plenty of 9s there. Ronaldo, Finn, and lots of 9s in there. Brilliant, brilliant evening from Stackington and a brilliant result for them. 3-0 winners. That leads us to the results. As we saw, Exiles beat Stanley, Haggis drew with Byrne, Badgers beat Los Santos away, Fulchester picked up 3 points. Oh, sorry, Fulchester picked up 0 points away at Sanctay, who got their win there. Sloths 0-0 with Dudley, 3-0 winners were Stackington, as were Vikings, as we have just seen. And that was Sanctay's first win of the season. That's what I wanted to say. They are off the zero, so to speak. And indeed, they are almost catching Haggis here. They've even got a game in hand. Terrible news for Haggis, and not great for Northern Burn either. Sloths down there now, 8 games. Eight, 8 games, 8 goals. They've conceded 13 though, 3 draws. Dudley only on 6 games, 2-2. Very positive goal difference after beating Badgers 5-0, obviously, in the first game. Then it's Los Santos, it's East Coast, it's Stanley, it's Foss Road, it's Stackington, all sort of in the middle of the pack here. And then up at the top of the table, we've got Badgers, I guess, with that win, Vikings as well, and Exiles with just 1 defeat each. And look at Vikings with 17 goals scored. Brilliant effort from them. Badgers are winning this year. Well, we'll see. King TT and all that. You have Thierry Henry, don't you? 8-5. That's solid. Fixtures as mentioned. We're going to do a quick fire round at some point. Whether it'll be, I don't know when it'll be, but we'll do a very quick fire round with these 6 teams. So everyone else, don't wait up for your packs. These guys also don't have to wait up because I won't do them until tomorrow. But that'll be the next. A quick little round here, and then we're back next Thursday with a full sort of range of fixtures. So that's it. Screenshots, packs, things like that will be out. Have to wait until October for the transfer stuff. I know there are some regular transfers. I'll try and get them done, of course, before the next round of fixtures. However, as there's only 3 in-game days, we're on the 20th now, 23rd. If you have booked transfers, and I know some of you have in here, they probably won't go through. I'll try, but no promises. Anyway, that's it for this evening. Thank you, as always, for joining. It is a pleasure. I will speak to you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your night.